Intersection Manager, or IM for short, is part of Rising Geospatial's productivity tools. Intersection Manager is an ArcGIS add-in that is used as a toolbar in ArcMap. This video will provide a high-level overview of the tables and feature classes produced by Intersection Manager using two example intersection diagrams with data tables populated using the labels in the example diagrams. Then we will walk through installing the tool and turning it on and off. What exactly does Intersection Manager do? Intersection Manager creates and maintains several tables and feature classes used for intersection maintenance and data analysis. Included in this output is a single intersection point feature class generated for each app-grade intersection in your LRS network. IM makes the process of collecting, viewing, and maintaining related intersection characteristics easy by automatically generating ArcGIS relationship classes that manage the associations between intersections and the various intersection characteristics. This output is typically used to populate several of the fundamental data elements, or FDEs, recommended by FHWA and used in analysis tools such as Safety Analyst. The Intersection Manager add-in consists of the following tools. All tables generated by Intersection Manager are populated based on the initial configuration you do in the Source Data Configuration menu. There are many configuration parameters, but the main inputs for this tool are the route network and the functional class data entity. You can enter additional non-required data entities to suit your needs. Populate Intersection Manager tables creates and populates the feature classes and tables for simple, at-grade intersections. Update Intersection Manager tables checks for network updates, then generates an editable temporary intersection table with a system-assigned intersection ID for any new intersections found until you review and save the edits. Populate Complex Intersection Info is used to create the complex intersection tables based on your specified polygon file. If a complex intersection polygon has been altered, or a network alteration has occurred that impacts the location of a complex intersection data element, Update Complex Intersection Info can be used to easily update the complex intersection tables. Set View Date allows you to turn on the visibility of all data in Intersection Manager's tables and feature classes based on your selected date. Now let's take a closer look at the tables and feature classes Intersection Manager produces. For simple intersections, there are two feature classes and 4 tables that get generated with the Populate Intersection Manager Tables tool. The first is the Intersection Point feature class, which assigns a unique intersection ID to each intersection. In our diagram, the intersection point has been given the ID A, B, C. Here you can see an example of the intersection point table based on our diagram. Notice it contains that unique intersection ID for the intersection point generated by the tool, as well as any associated crossings and the intersection source. From this unique intersection ID, the intersection can be related to the other datasets generated by IM. Also generated is the Intersection Detail Table, which is an editable version of the intersection point table that users can add additional attribute columns to. It can be kept up to date and in sync with the Intersection Point feature class by running the Update tool. The Intersection Routes table describes the location of the intersection along all routes associated with the intersection. In the diagram, Route A and Route B are the routes that participate in the intersection. In this example of the Intersection Routes table, based on our diagram, you can see it contains that unique intersection ID and all crossing route information for the selected intersection, including the MIRE requirements of on and at route ID as well as on route measure. This table can be used to linearly reference intersection points since it has a route ID and measure field. The Roadway Segment feature class manages all route segments that are represented by the full extent of routes between intersections. In the diagram, the route segments have the segment IDs of XYZ1, XYZ2, XYZ3, and XYZ4. This example of the roadway segment table contains all intersection to intersection route segments depicted in the diagram. The Intersection Approach Segment Table describes the extent of a roadway on each road segment, entering or exiting an intersection, that is considered to be influenced by the intersection. In the diagram, the intersection legs depicted by the red crosshairs and labeled L1, L2, L3, and L4 are the intersection approach influence areas. By default, the area of influence extends 250 feet from an intersection, but this distance can be specified by the user in the Source Data Configuration menu. In this example of the Intersection Approach Segment Table, you can see that each approach has a unique approach ID, such as ABC-XYZ1, which is a combination of the intersection ID and the segment ID. This table contains approach attributes, required by Meyer, for all approaches in the selected intersection. Since this table has a route ID, from measure, and to measure fields, it can be dynamically segmented along the route network and given geometry. Like the Intersection Detail Table, the Intersection Approach Detail Table is an editable version of the Intersection Approach Segment Table and is kept in sync with it. Users can add additional attribute columns to the Intersection Approach Detail Table. A polygon feature class containing polygon records that encompass complex intersections can be added in the Source Data Configurations menu in order to generate complex intersection tables. Running the Populate Complex Intersection Info tool will generate two datasets. Similar to simple intersections, IM-generated complex intersections will have a unique complex intersection ID based on the polygon record that defines it. In the diagram, you can see a complex intersection polygon encompassing 2 routes, 3 intersections, 2 ramps, and 2 bridges. In this example of the complex intersection cross-reference table, you will notice that all intersections, ramps, and bridges depicted in the diagram are managed by a single complex intersection ID. Also based on the diagram, this example of the complex intersection influence segment table includes the route ID, from measure, to measure, and influence length of all routes and ramps that are involved in the complex intersection polygon. Like the Intersection Approach Segment Table, because this table has a route ID, from measure, and to measure fields, it can be dynamically segmented along the route network and given geometry. This table can also be used for further analysis, such as with crash analysis, to determine all crashes that occurred within the interchange's influence area, or for summarizing roadway characteristic data against the interchange segments. When either of the tools is executed, the Intersection Manager metadata table is updated, keeping track of the creation and update dates of all intersection and complex intersection data. To install Intersection Manager, first, it is very important to make sure that ArcMap is closed. Next, copy the Intersection Manager installer to a location of your choice on your computer. Then, double-click the installation file. Click Install Add-in in the confirmation pop-up dialog. After the installation is complete, click OK. To ensure that Intersection Manager was installed, open ArcMap. Then click Customize in the top navigation bar and select Add-in Manager from the drop-down. To turn on the Intersection Manager extension from ArcMap, click Customize in the top navigation bar and select Extensions from the drop-down. Place a check mark beside the Intersection Manager extension and click Close. Right-click on an empty place on the top banner of ArcMap and click beside Intersection Manager Toolbar to turn it on. The toolbar will appear in the ArcMap banner, and you can dock the toolbar anywhere you would like. When Intersection Manager is not in use, it is recommended that it be disabled, as large processing tasks that involve an ArcMap edit session may be affected by slow performance if it is left on. To disable the Intersection Manager extension from ArcMap, click Customize in the top navigation bar and select Extensions from the drop-down. Uncheck the Intersection Manager Toolbar extension, and now it is disabled. That completes the installation walkthrough. These steps and more can be found in Intersection Manager's user guide, which is located at docs.tsstools.com/im. Thank you for your time. Please visit our website for more information about Intersection Manager and our other software solutions.